Hello again guys, Matt here, and thank you for choosing Livewire to keep up with your gaming news. In today's video it is the Samurai's turn in the Tales of Weapons series, which is a series of articles found on the For Honor website. The Samurai's legendary weapon is called the Honjo Masamune, and I apologise to anyone who I have triggered with that pronunciation, and indeed for butchering all of the pronunciation in this video. I'm not Japanese after all. One of the goals of the For Honor community content is to connect players to the For Honor world via real-world artifacts and inspirations. And in case you missed it, the other Tales of Weapons videos are provided on screen, and in these Tales of Weapons series of articles, we explore legendary weapons that are either historical or mythological, which inspired the For Honor team's creation of the weapons wielded by the Knights, Vikings, and Samurai of For Honor. And guys, if you are enjoying our For Honor coverage, please consider hitting that like button, it really helps us out, which in turn allows us to make more videos. But let's get right into the Samurai legendary weapon lore, which is coming up straight after this. The iconic and deadly blades wielded by the Samurai have always captivated generations with their look, mystique, tales of honor, and of course their lethal precision. So it's no surprise that the katana finds its place in For Honor as the weapon of choice of the For Honor Orochi's hero. The creation of a great samurai blade is a long and complex process, where the art and experience of the crafter is key. Japanese swordsmiths understood that hard metal could be made sharp, but could chip away and break, whereas softer metal was more flexible, but would become less sharp. The genius of the crafting was to forge a sword of two metals, very hard steel on its outer cutting edge, whereas more ductile iron was used to form the heart of the blade. This process allowed for an extraordinarily sharp, but also flexible and strong blade. Goro Honjo Masamune was a legendary Japanese swordsmith, known to be one of the best metallurgists in the world. Most of his swords were crafted during the 13th century and at the beginning of the 14th century, during the Kamakura period. This historical period is significant of many changes in Japan's socio-political context, notably the establishment of feudalism, but also because of the emergence of the samurai. Masamune's weapons have a reputation for superior beauty and quality, especially since the steel found in this era was often impure. Although all of his swords are masterpieces, his most famous one is the Honjo Masamune, that was passed from generals to shoguns throughout the centuries. The sword is known to be a Japanese national treasure, although its location is currently unknown. The name obviously comes from Goro Masamune himself, but also from General Honjo Shigenaga, who owned the sword in the 16th century. The story tells that during a battle, the sword had belonged to an enemy general who challenged Honjo in a duel. His helmet got cut in half by the sword, but Honjo managed to win the duel and took the sword, which now bears his name. Honjo Masamune is a tachi type weapon, later referred to as a katana, a single wedge and very sharp sword with a long pommel to be held with two hands. Aesthetically, Masamune was a master of Hamon, a visual effect that creates beautiful patterns on the cutting edge of the blade. Hamon happens during the hardening process when clay is applied on the blade prior to the cooling phase. The result is a beautiful effect, but also a much harder and deadly edge. Masamune's incredible Hamon technique was part of his reputation as a swordsmith, and also part of his visual signature. Most weapons he crafted were very sought after by the elite Japanese warriors, and we can definitely see why. They were the absolute reference of the perfect blades. That's why the Honjo moved from one shogun to another for almost 3 centuries. Masamune's legacy of his swordsmanship continued throughout the centuries, as his 24th generation descendant, Tsunehiro Yamamura, has a company that still makes katanas, as well as knives and scissors. Now, after researching how katanas are made for this video, and out of just genuine interest, it's hard not to be impressed by the swordsmith's exquisite technique even with today's methods. Although I did also notice that many Japanese swordsmiths of today still adhere to the old ways for crafting their katanas. The blades are pieces of art just as much as they are weapons of war, and you do get a sense of history from them, even with the newly forged blades. The Honjo Masamune though seems to be like the holy grail of these iconic swords, enshrining the beauty, mystery, history, spirituality, and deadliness of all the katanas into just one blade. And since we already know that the sword is passed down through the centuries from shogun to shogun, wouldn't it be awesome if our samurai hero could be one of these warriors? I would love for my samurai to wield such a legendary blade in our fight to end Apollyon's tyranny during the campaign. What do you guys think of this idea? Also, what is your favourite of the 3 legendary weapons that we have so far? What other legendary weapons would you like to see in game? Personally for me, as a Knights hero, I would love to see Excalibur. As always guys, it's great to talk to you in the comments to hear your opinions of the game, or just your opinions of the video. If you want to see much more For Honor news from the channel, then consider subscribing and hitting that like button to really help us out. Okay then, I have been Matt from Livewire. You can follow me on Twitter here, or you can follow the channel's Twitter here. Until the next one then, you can click on our faces to get to know us better, or click here for our entire For Honor news playlist to catch up. Or if you're interested in something a little different and just want a laugh or a bit of fun, then click here for one of our many Let's Plays. That is also a great method for getting to know us a little bit better. All links in the video are also provided in the description for all you mobile users out there. Okay then, I will look out for you in the next video.
Okay. If he kills you, it's all over.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, Master Wayne.